let's start going through these. I haven't looked through these in a long time, so this will be fun for me. A single. This is, Feel the Heartbeat by the Treacherous 3. This is such a good old school song, a feel-good song. A Feel the Heartbeat song is previously owned by Tuffy, as you can see there. Check this out if you have not heard this. This song is so good. Look it up on YouTube. Treacherous 3, I believe, Kool Moe Dee, Special K, Kool Moe Dee's original group. Alright, next up, Captain Sky. Oh, I have listened to this. It's funk, if I remember right. Mostly bought it for the cover and I'd never heard it before. Decent record. Can't remember too much about it, but it was decent funk. Classic Purple Rain soundtrack, Prince. Obviously the title track, Purple Rain, classic. When Doves Cry, I love that. Busy Bone sampled that for When Thugs Cry, also a good song. Great, and this copy, I want to say I found it at a thrift store. It has the poster inside as well. Did I show the back? It's the back. Dove Shack. This is a promo single with Twins. This was promoting the show soundtrack. The Dove Shack they're from Long Beach, put out a great album, G-Funk album. And I think the Twins also, Warren G did the production for them. Don't think they did anything after this, same with Dove Shack. Good little throwback. And the other group was the Five Footas, I want to say, a female duo. Also had a really great song on the show soundtrack. Another single, Rally Rel, something kind of funky. This is a good song. This is I don't know if I ever heard Rally Rel's whole album. I think he just was a one and done. But this song is great. West Coast G-Funk. Duck Down Records, Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson then had some copyright issues. Became the Coco Brovas for an album, maybe two. And then became Smith & Wesson again. This is a single off Reloaded, which was part of that trilogy album on Duck Down that Ninth Wonder did the production for. Great album. Sean Price is on this. Tim's Do Work, great song. Gun Talk, Reloaded, Get Back. This is one half of the Lucy Ford EP. I got this at an Atmosphere show back in the 90s. Could have been early 2000s. Lucy Ford EP part 1. There's another half. It should be in here somewhere. We'll probably come across it. I think that's Ant on the back. The producer for Atmosphere, who's a genius. Stakes is High, single, De La Soul. Great album, really good album where they kind of came back after a brief hiatus. I feel like Jay Dilla did some of his early production on the Stakes is High album. Nas, One Love, off of Illmatic. Great single, produced by Q-Tip, of course. Another one of my all-time favorite songs and an awesome single. Wu-Tang, Cream, Cash Rules Everything Around Me. B-side is Mystery of Chess Boxing. Both great songs, great album cover. Great single cover. Here's the back. They Were Just Babies. Another Wu-Tang, Protect Your Neck. B-side is Method Man. This is not an OG. This was the first thing they pressed this independently and sold this, hand to hand. Before they even got signed to Loud. Super cool. Was it Mastakilla that drew I want to say Mastakilla did the drawings for them and did this. Jason's Lyric soundtrack, just a white label promo. This had a bunch of good songs on it. It was hip hop and R&B back in the mid 90s when every movie had a hip hop soundtrack to go along with it. Let's see, LL Cool J, Scarface, Spice One, Ahmad, if you remember him. The Twins, we just talked about them. J.O. Felony. There's some decent songs on here. This was a thrift store find. Oh, the D&D Project. Yeah, the Digging in the Crates crew, basically. Let's see, Fat Joe, KRS-One, Man, my eyes are bad. I've had this forever. This is probably one of the first records I ever bought. D&D was like DJ Premier. I forget. My memory is failing me. This is a weird one, another single. Scritti Politti. Tinseltown to Boogie Down. Now I think Scritti Politti is like an alt-rock band. There's a Psycho Les remix on here and a Pete Rock and Ali Shaheed Muhammad from Tribe Called Quest. I think it was Medina Green and Mos Def. Really good song. Weird, this was a thrift store find, pretty sure. Incredible bongo band, bongo rock. This has the Apache break that everyone knows. This is a reissue, of course, from the early 2000s, I want to say. The God of Soul, Otis Redding, Pain in My Heart. This was a Record Store Day re-release from the mid-2010s. I love Otis Redding. What a voice. Breakdance. This actually has a fold-out poster that teaches you breakdance moves. It's just electro, hip-hop instrumentals from... Oh no! It's got Wheels of Steel with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Thought I remembered it just being instrumentals, but this I found at a garage sale in the 90s. Pharaoh Monch, Internal Affairs. I think this was Pharaoh Monch's first solo album after Organized Confusion ceased to exist. One of the early releases on Rawkus as well. I actually got this for free at a hip-hop convention. Shout out to the guy who gave me this for free. What an amazing album to get for free. Oh, this is the Lucy Ford EP. Atmosphere. What was the other one I showed you guys before? Early Atmosphere was really good. I was really into them. Oh man, a classic. One of my favorites. Rest in peace, MF Doom. Food. Such iconic artwork on this album. Such great tracks on this album. Hoe Cakes. The whole album is so solid. Released by Rhymesayers. Come on, man. So good. Oh, okay. This is Outkast's Elevators, the first record I ever bought when I was 16, I want to say. Love Outkast. ATLiens was such an amazing album, follow up to an incredible debut album, Southern Playalistic. This is cool. This will always stay with me. Aesop Rock, Float, man. Mush Records. This is probably pretty rare. I remember finding this at my local record store. Aesop Rock and Blockhead production, so good. The sound. Aesop Rock is one of those that maybe it's an acquired taste. You're not sure what to think of them at first, but man, incredible album, incredible production. Outkast, Aquemini. Amazing album. I think this was their third album? What's that instrumental on here? Art of Storytelling with Raekwon and Slick Rick, I want to say. Rosa Parks, of course, is on here. Spodioti Dopalicious, that incredible instrumental. Great album, great cover. Probably the last great Outkast album. Oh man, MF Grimm, You Only Live Twice, the graphic novel. Crazy story. MF Grimm is a legend, but a legend that never quite was. Story goes, I think this might be an urban legend, but so he got shot and was paralyzed because of the shooting. Supposedly he was supposed to be on Main Source, was going to the studio to record Live at the Barbecue. MF Grimm was supposed to be on that track, but wasn't because he got shot, and Nas happened to be hanging out at the studio and got on the track instead. And of course we all know that verse that Nas had on Live at the Barbecue, which is iconic and broke him to the rest of the industry. MF Grimm, super talented. He also did an album with MF Doom, which is super rare. I'd love to own that, but I do not. Oh, the Diabolical, Biz Markie, Just a Friend. This is a classic. This was a huge crossover hit, an early one for hip hop. that you'd hear at the roller rinks and parties. Biz Marquis, such a legend. Of course, he started out as a DJ, was a great beatboxer, and has a lot of great songs. Another single, a lot of singles. I don't know how people feel about that. I used to dabble in DJing, so Black Sheep, Strobe Light Honey. That was not the original title of the song, but Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, Black Sheep's debut album, is amazing. Drez, such a great lyricist. I love this album. It was one of the first cassette tapes I ever owned, and I know the words to every song. This is not my favorite song. It's also, the B-side is Give Me the Finger. Not my favorite, but still so solid. Here we go. Here's the other half of what I mistakenly apparently called the Lucy Ford EP. I forget what this release was called. I think they only sold it on tour because that's where I got it. Yeah, The Woman with the Tattooed Hands. Such a great, haunting song. One of my favorite Atmosphere songs. Rotten Rascals from Illtown. They were from New Jersey. They were, one of them are cousins of one of the guys from Naughty by Nature, I think. But Hey Alright was a great song. I think they just put out the one album, Rotten to the Core, and that was it. But Hey Alright was such a good jam. Another legend, Brother Ali, the Champion EP. I don't remember much about this one. This is not my favorite content released by Brother Ali. Shadows on the Sun is by far my favorite thing he's ever done. He's done a lot of amazing stuff since. Ant from Atmosphere, of course, does a lot of production from him, being affiliated with Rhymesayers. Back to the Future soundtrack, one of my all-time favorite movies. The Huey Lewis and the News tracks on here, like Power of Love, Back in Time. It's iconic. I love the movie. You gotta hang on to the soundtrack, right? Oh man, the Impressions, One by One. I have several copies of this. I can't help but buy it every time I see it. Curtis Mayfield. This was his first group. There he is right there. He is a legend. If you don't know any soul song from the 60s and 70s, he probably wrote it and you just don't know it. So cool that I'm able to have that. Oh man, another legend, the DOC. I think this was on Ruthless? Yeah. Look at that. Love that Nike t-shirt. So the DOC was affiliated with NWA. I think he did a lot of ghostwriting for them. He released this album and It's Funky Enough was a huge hit. And shortly after, he got in a car accident and his larynx, his throat was crushed, and it made him, he has a really raspy voice. He's actually on Dr. Dre's The Chronic. Is it $20 Sack Pyramid? He's the game show host or one of the contestants. He's got the real raspy voice. The DOC, a legend. It's tragic what happened to his career. The amazing album. Dr. Dre production, of course. Check this out if you haven't heard it. Oh man, RIP to the legend. This is MF Doom, if you don't know, under one of his aliases, King Ghidorah. Take Me to Your Leader. Really cool album. Maybe one of his lesser known albums though as well. And MF Doom again, Metal Fingers presents Special Herbs, Volume 9 and 0. I believe I have all these. MF Doom's production, there's the God right there, is top notch. There's just a different sound to it that I can't quite put into words. If you love hip hop, you love instrumentals, these are a must own, or just get your hands on MF Doom's instrumentals. This is a cool one. I think I ordered this online. I think back in the day, I ordered this off Amazon used, which wasn't really a thing back then outside of books. Manish, Audio Sedative. This is a slept on album. This album is amazing. I discovered it watching Rap City back in the mid 90s. They had a video for, I think it was the track Expect That. The production is insane. The rapping is insane. This is such a gem to have. I've never heard anyone mention Manish. Check this out if you can find it online or anywhere else. Check it out. Oh shoot, this is another record store day purchase. The Shogun Assassin soundtrack. This is so cool. Of course, this is a Japanese series that was originally called Lone Wolf and Cub. This is how you... Anyone who knows the genius, the GZA from Wu-Tang, his debut solo album, that opening track where the kid is talking about his father, that's from Shogun Assassin. That's that audio. The God again, MF Doom and Danger Mouse. What was this called? Danger Doom. I got this, I remember buying this online from the UK. Danger Doom, I want to say it was done somehow in partnership with Adult Swim because it's all like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like Frylock is talking in this. MF Doom's rapping about Master Shake. You know, it's crazy album, so interesting and good. Not just gimmicky, it's also really good, or at least in my opinion. James Brown, Godfather of Soul. Clyde Stubblefield, his drummer for much of his career, is the godfather of hip hop essentially with his drum breaks. This one's called Please Please Please. This is a re-release. I love James Brown. Oh, it also comes with a CD. That's kind of fun. Oh shoot, the Skull Snaps. Obviously this is a re-release. This has a classic break on it. I don't remember what it is. I'm so sorry. I bought this so long ago. Incredible cover art. Here it is. Black Sheep, Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Such a great album. I want to say Chi Ali's debut was on this. They're also part of the Native Tongues with the Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest. Chi Ali was in there. De La. I forget who else. I love this album. Always have, always will. Relativity Records mixtape, I guess. Urban Assault. We got MOP, World Famous on here, No ID, Fat Joe, DJ Honda, shout out Japan. Who else is on here? Drew Down, Dayton Family, Bloodbath. Oh, that's a good reason to own this right there. Frankie Cutlass, he had a good album. Oh, and it's got the Common diss track, The B and You. Common's first single that was really big was I Used to Love Her, where Ice Cube felt like he was dissing West Coast rap. This was Common's response. Common's diss track to Ice Cube. How weird does that sound? Ooh. I bought this in LA at Fat Beats. One of my favorite albums of all time. Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the 36 Chambers. Iconic cover art. If you are a hip hop fan or you're curious about hip hop, listen to this. Just listen to this. And at that same Fat Beats store in LA, I got Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die, his debut album. So iconic and classic. Top-notch production across the board. Pete Rock, DJ Premier, Easy Mo B. Who else? Lord Finesse. What an album. And here's another one. Nas Illmatic. One of the greatest albums of all time. Anyone who's a fan of hip hop is going to put these last three albums probably somewhere in their top 10. This is definitely not a OG release. Oh, it's a 10th anniversary release. It's got a couple of unreleased tracks there. And of course the cover is black and white instead of color. The Genius, words from a genius. This was before Wu-Tang. The GZA got signed to Cold Chillin' and put out this. It's not a great album. It's more I have it kind of for historical purposes. It's just cool to have. Look at that. $12.99. Got it for 40% off. Like, that's crazy. Oh man, another classic. The Far Side, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. I remember buying this. I was super into comic books, and that cover I just thought was the coolest thing ever. A little bit innuendo there, maybe a lot of it. The Far Side was really different for West Coast. It was West Coast hip hop, but it wasn't gangster rap. It was certainly a far removed from NWA and stuff like that. What was the producer's name? Fat Lip, of course, went on to have a bit of a solo career. Amani, Booty Brown, and Jay Swift, I think, was the name of their producer, who tragically fell into addiction. And there's the crazy story about them making a documentary about him and his addiction, and I don't know if it ever got released. I think it was called Just One More Hit. Apparently the producers were like asking him like, hit that pipe one more time so we can get a good shot of it or something. Yeah, it's dark. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Here's some more. This is Metal Fingers, Special Herbs, Volume 1 and 2. MF Doom again. Get your hands on these if you can. Here's some more kind of obscure mid-90s New York hip-hop, blase blase. Hip-hop duo, I believe one of them was British, or at least he sounded British. Danger Part 2 was a big single off this, but also Pain I Feel had a really good sample on it. It's used on another popular song. Really good album. I got this in San Francisco, I remember. Here we go. Special Herbs, 5 and 6. More MF Doom instrumentals, 3 and 4. Too Short single, Money in the Ghetto. Promo white label. Man, Get In Where You Fit In is such a great album. I'm not a huge fan of all of Too Short stuff, but there's a couple albums, Get In Where You Fit In being one of them, that I absolutely love. Busta Rhymes' The Coming promo album. This was pretty groundbreaking. His style was so... Of course, he was in a group, Leaders of the New School, prior to this, before he went solo. And of course was on Oh My God, the Oh My God remix with Tribe Called Quest. But man, when he came out, this really changed things a lot, I feel like. Great album. God, what I'm trying to remember it. LL Cool J Def Jam single. What is I Can Give You More? Oh, I Can't Live Without My Radio. I was like, I don't even recognize I Can Give You More, but I Can't Live Without My Radio. Pretty classic. Got the little gold promo stamp there in the corner. Roy Ayers, Everybody Loves Sunshine. Man, if you're a hip hop fan and you don't know Roy Ayers, introduce yourself. So sampled. So much of his stuff is sampled. I'm drawing a blank on what song on this album that we would recognize samples from, but Roy Ayers is a legend. Kool and the Gang, Spirit of the Boogie. Gotta love that art. I don't even recall what tracks are on here, but I love funk and soul. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, classic. I love Led Zeppelin. Black Dog, that drum break, of course, is well known in hip hop. And here's a little guilty pleasure. Eni Kamoze, Here Comes the Hot Stepper. I don't really need this, but it's kind of fun, you know? All right, that's probably enough for this video. Thanks for joining me, and I don't know, I got a bunch of shelves left. If people like watching this, I'll do some more. Maybe I'll go through all the shelves. If not, that's okay too. I just wanted to share. I haven't gone through them in a while. I wanted to share with everybody, kind of rediscover some of my collection. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.